Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wine and Words. It is 5 o'clock on Wednesday, so it is time for our reading of short stories and poems that we call Wine and Words Wednesdays. And I hope that you're joining us with your favorite beverage, maybe a cool iced tea or maybe something else this afternoon, now that it's so beautiful out. Before we begin our readings for this afternoon, I just would like to tell everybody that we have begun our curbside pickup service at the library. It began last week on the 15th, and what you can do is now go to our website or call with your requests, and anything that is in our catalog and at HTFL you can request for pickup, and the librarians will get that ready for you and let you know when your order is ready, and you can come to the library and come to the front door and your order will be there for you. So if you've been missing having a book and turning the pages of an actual book, if you've been using Overdrive and Libby and all of our online resources during the pandemic, but you've been missing reading an actual book, we are here for you. And although you cannot come into the library, you can use us by Curbside. So hopefully you can take advantage of that, and we will have some more information about that on our website. So please check that out and utilize us. Now it's time for some readings this afternoon. So grab your beverage, grab your wine or your iced tea or your lemonade or whatever you're drinking with us this afternoon. And we have some summer poems for you. It was summer solstice on the 20th. So we're just a few days into summer, and we have some summer poems for you today. The first one is called What is June Anyway? By David Budbill. After 3 weeks of hot weather and drought, we've had a week of cold and rain, just the way it ought to be here in the north, in June. A fire going in the wood stove, all day long, so you can go outside in the cold and rain anytime and smell the wood smoke in the air. This is the way I love it. This is why, 15 years ago, this is June anyway, without cold and rain and a fire going in the stove all day. The next one is called Fireflies by Frank Ormsby. The lights come on and stay on under the trees. Visibly, a whole neighborhood inhabits the dusk. So punctual and in place, it seems to deny dark its domination. Nothing will go astray. The porch lamps promise. Sudden, as though a match failed to ignite at the foot of the garden. The first squibs trouble the eye. Impossible not to share that supportive, abortive, clumsy, where are we now dalliance with night, such soothing relentlessness. What should we make of fireflies, their quick flare of promise and disappointment? Their throwaway style? Our heads turn this way and that. We are loath to miss such jauntiness in nature. Those fugitive selves, winged and at random, our flickery might-have-beens, come up, form the woods to haunt us. Are yet to be as tentative frolic. What do fireflies say? That loneliness made of light becomes at last convivial singleness? That at any antic spark cruising the void that titillate creation? And whether they bend themselves or go to ground or drift with their lights out, they have left the gloom for as long as our eyes take to absorb such absence, less than it seemed, as childless and deprived, as chaos and old night, but ruffled too as though it unearthed some memory of light from its long blackout, a hospitable core, fit home for fireflies, brushed by fireflies' wings. I know fireflies are one of my favorite things that I see in June around this time of year. I can't say that I've seen any as of yet, but I also haven't really been out too much, at dusk and around 8, 9 o'clock at night when they come out and we see their light. I'm not sure if you've seen any. You can let me know in the comments. But I love fireflies, and so that was a firefly poem for us. The next poem is called Summer Wind by William Cullen Bryant. It is a sultry day. The sun has drunk the dew that lay upon the morning grass. There is no rustling in the lofty elm that canopies my dwelling, and its shade scarce cools me. All is silent, save the faint and interrupted murmur of the bee, settling on the sick flowers, and then again instantly on the wing. The plants around feel the two potent fervors. The tall maize rolls up its long green leaves. The clover droops its tender foliage and declines its blooms. But far in the fierce sunshine tower the hills, with all their growth of woods, silent and stern, as if the scorching heat and dazzling light were but an element they loved. Bright clouds, motionless pillars of the brazen heaven, their bases on the mountains, their white tops shining in the far ether, fire the air with a reflected radiance and make turn the gazer's eye away. For me, I lie languidly in the shade, where the thick turf, yet virgin from the kisses of the sun, retains some freshness, and I woo the wind that still delays his coming. Why so slow, gentle spirit of the air? Oh, come and breathe upon the fainting earth coolness and life. It is that in his caves he hears me. See, on yonder's woody ridge, the pine is bending his proud top. And now, among the nearer groves, chestnut and oak are tossing their green boughs about. He comes, lo, where the grassy meadows run in waves. The deep distressful silence of the scene breaks up with the mingling of unnumbered sounds and universal motion. He is come, shaking a shower of blossoms from the shrubs and bearing on their fragrance, and he brings music of the birds and rustling of young boughs and sound of swaying branches and the voice of distant waterfalls. All the green herbs are stirring in his breath, 1,000 flowers, by the roadside and the borders of the brook, nod gaily to each other. Glossy leaves are twinkling in the sun, as if the dew were on them yet, and silver waters break into small waves and sparkle as he comes. That is Summer Wind. I love the imagery in that poem. Our next poem is simply titled Summer by Louise Gluck. Remember the days of our first happiness, how strong we were, how dazed by passion, lying all day then all night in the narrow bed, sleeping there, eating there too. It was summer. It seemed everything had ripened at once, and so hot we lay completely uncovered. Sometimes the wind rose, A willow brushed the window. But we were lost in a way. Didn't you feel that? The bed was like a raft. I felt us drifting far from our natures, toward a place where we discover nothing. First the sun, then the moon, in fragments, stone through the willow, things anyone could see. Then the circles closed. Slowly the nights grew cool. The pendant leaves of the willow yellowed and fell, and in each of us began a deep isolation, though we never spoke of this, of the absence, of regret. We were artists again, my husband. We could resume the journey. The next poem is by Li Po, who lived from the years 700 to 761. And this is called In the Mountains on a Summer Day. It's a very brief poem, but I wanted to bring you something that was from the way back, and definitely in public domain, because it's from back from the year 700. Yet it seems like it could have been written just yesterday. Gently I stir a white feather fan, with open shirt sitting in a green wood. I take off my cap and hang it on a jutting stone. A wind from the pine trees trickles on my bare head. That was by Li Po, and that was In the Mountains on a Summer Day. Our last selection for today's readings is a William Carlos Williams. Now we're moving way ahead. William Carlos Williams lived from 1883 to 1963, and this is called Summer Song. Wanderer moon, smiling a faintly ironic smile at this brilliant, dew-moistened summer morning. A detached, sleepily indifferent smile. A wanderer's smile. If I should buy a shirt your color and put on a necktie, sky blue, where would they carry me? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this selection of summer poems. I hope that they put you in a sunny, summery mood this afternoon. And I hope that you will again take advantage of our curbside service going on now. It's going on Monday through Friday, every day from 10 to 4. Remember, you can go online and get some more information. You can also fill out the request form, or you could give us a call. Thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you next week for Wine and Words Wednesday. Bye now.